Good morning and welcome to Teal House Farm. It's early. JJ is up early, so she's going to help me. We are going to try to make some green tomato cake this morning. Some viewers...
I don't like tomato.
You won't be able to taste them, I promise. Some viewers suggested this last year when we were talking about green tomatoes. And after looking at the recipes online, I feel like it looks kind of like a breakfast, like a coffee cake. It's kind of short and it has nuts and it has raisins in it. So we're going to call it a breakfast cake and we're going to make it this morning. So this should use up the rest of the green tomatoes we have from our garden. We have this left and we're going to leave the big ones because I think those will turn red. Some of them already are. But these smaller ones are not going to turn red. So these are what we're going to use to make the green tomatoes. The green tomato cake. So we need to get these cut up, and to save me a whole lot of time, we're just going to use the food processor. Okay, first thing, we're going to wash these tomatoes. So I picked a bunch of small ones that I don't think are going to ripen inside because they're too little. And we rinse them off. We hand them to JJ. I think I did 9 little ones, and that made about 4 cups of the smashed / processed green tomato, which is what we need for the recipe. We put them in the food processor, get that cover on. We're just going to pulse them for a few seconds. It does help if you plug in the food processor, so let's do that. Alright, and we just want really small chunks. I know if I cut them by hand, the chunks will be really big, and then I don't think I can get the kids to try this recipe, so that's what it looks like. We're at about a tablespoon of salt on them, and we're going to mix that in, and we're going to let them sit about 10 minutes to help draw out excess liquid so that our batter doesn't get too liquidy. Let's get our mixer out. We're going to add 1 stick of butter and 2 cups of white sugar. You could definitely probably use honey instead for this recipe. I think that'd work just fine. Cream those together, and then we're going to add 2 eggs. We found a stash of chicken eggs out by our compost pile, so I tested them all yesterday, but now we have a whole bunch of chicken eggs after our chickens had started hiding them again. We mix the eggs in, and when those are well mixed in, we add 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. I was worried about this being too much nutmeg, but it actually worked out really well, so it wasn't overkill. Then we're going to add just a little bit of salt, like a 1/4 teaspoon. Remember, those tomatoes already have a lot of salt on them. Mix that all together real good. Then we're going to turn the mixer off for a minute. We're going to add 2 cups all-purpose flour. And then we're going to mix that in. Your batter is going to look really crumbly. Like, you're going to think you messed up, but this is okay because when we add our tomatoes, it's going to soften it right up. Mix that as best you can. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of raisins. I just used 2 packs of these little raisins because we have tons of these. And then about a 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup crushed nuts. We used pecans. I think walnuts would be really good too. And you could, of course, leave those nuts out if you don't want nuts. But I did like the texture of the nuts inside the muffin. We're going to mix those in just quickly. Then our tomatoes have been sitting for about 10 minutes. We're going to put them in a colander and we're going to rinse them off and drain out the excess liquid. I give them just a gentle press to help convince more of that liquid to come out. We want 4 cups total. We're going to dump that into our batter and mix it in. Once you add those green tomatoes, you'll notice that your batter gets a real nice consistency, kind of like maybe a zucchini or a banana bread. It's much smoother and less stiff. The recipe said to cook it in a 9x13 cake pan, but that would take about 45 minutes and the kids are hungry, so we're doing muffin cups. I greased the muffin tins and we're gonna put some in, and then there was some reserve batter here, so we're gonna also use 1 loaf pan. Grease that loaf pan real quick so that nothing sticks, and then we put the rest of the batter in there. The oven is on 350. The muffins are going to take between 15 and 20 minutes, and that loaf pan is going to take closer to ½ an hour. We're going to make this a big breakfast. We have not had bacon in quite a while because it's really expensive, but Aldi had it for $3 the other day. So I grabbed a pack of bacon, and we're going to cook this in the oven while we're cooking everything else. So it's 10 minutes on 350, then you flip the bacon over and cook it another 10 minutes. Those muffins look great. They do have kind of a weird color, which the kids noticed, so that's probably their biggest downfall, but they had great texture. I decide maybe putting some icing on there to cover the color. Maybe that'll convince the kids to try them. So I make a real quick icing with a cup of powdered sugar, a dash of milk, and a dash of vanilla, and I drizzle it on top of those muffins. I keep calling them muffins. They're like more like coffee cake, but you know what I mean. Drizzle it on top. And we're gonna go ahead and put everything on plates. Sam asks if we can have some eggs too, so why not? We'll just make this a huge breakfast. So me and my huge pregnant belly scramble some eggs real quick, and then we're ready to eat. Hey Goobas, did you try the muffin?
Not yet.
Let's do a taste test. Are you ready?
No.
Blue fingers? Is it yum yum? Mikey says she won't try it because it's got tomatoes in it.
I don't like tomatoes.
All right, you try it.
It's good.
It's good? You don't look very convinced. All right, JJ, give it a taste test. Those were pretty good. They taste a lot like zucchini bread. So the texture and the flavor is very similar to zucchini bread. So if you like zucchini bread, you'd really like these. I definitely feel like they tasted more like a breakfast muffin cake than like a, oh, I'm going to make this cake for dessert after dinner. You need out? Okay. And I say I liked them, Sam liked them, and half the kids liked them. The other half that didn't like them were just really off-put by the color. They didn't really want to try them because they do kind of have this weird green tint.
Mom, I want my hair to be cut off.
Okay, just a trim today, not all the way.
Just one trim?
Yes.
Right here? Mom, what about right here?
That's perfect. We're just going to trim them today.
I probably would have eaten it if when I was on my way to the bathroom, I heard Mom was like, yeah, it's green tomatoes inside. I probably would have ate it if I didn't know it was in it.
You should try it.
It looks like green eggs.
It does kind of have a weird color to it, I'll say that much.
Terrible.
That's all we have for today. Just a quick, simple cooking recipe. Hopefully, maybe more inspiration to finish up your green tomatoes. If you want other recipes for green tomatoes, we basically have canned so many. I've made salsa verde, I've made chow chow, and I've canned sliced green tomatoes. I will link all of those canning instructions below. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.